Welcome back. Super excited. In this short lesson, I'm going to demonstrate how you can go ahead and request an instance. In other words, once you've logged on to the ServiceNow platform or the developer.servicenow.com, right? As a developer, once you're logged in, you can then navigate to, for example, on the right side, you'll notice it says My Instance, and this is where you can request your first instance. Now, the latest release for ServiceNow platform is the Madrid, and that's the one that you would like to request. But let's jump right in and let me show you how to request the instance. Pretty straightforward, but just a short lesson just so that you get to speed. And once your instance is ready, then you can jump right in and then start work on some of the admin related tasks. So I'm going to go ahead and click on request instance. This brings up a dialog box. You'll notice there's a London release, there's a Madrid, and then of course the latest one, by the way, guys, is coming up is New York. It's still in the process, but it's going to be coming up pretty soon. However, there are some release notes that you can take a look at. So if I were to click on the release notes for the New York instance, you will find several areas and several things that you can take a look at what the benefits are, for instance, for this particular release. So once again, this is just for your consumption. You don't need to go through this at this point in time, but just wanted to quickly show you that you can take a look at how you can upgrade from the previous instance to the New York that is upcoming. All right, let's navigate back to our tab. So the middle one is the Madrid instance, and that's the latest one. So if I scroll down, they even tell you right here, if you aren't sure which version to choose, start with Madrid. It's the latest available release, and they have an instance ready for you to get started. Perfect. So just select Madrid and click on request instance. And this is going to go ahead and start the process. Perfect. So once the instance spins up, it takes about maybe 30 seconds, sometimes a minute or so, depending on the speed. But once it spins up, it brings you to this particular screen, which is the same screen, same page. On the right side, you'll notice it says Manage Instance. And on the bottom right, you'll see the Madrid instance with a check mark, right? So that means you're currently using the Madrid instance. Now the UI or the user interface, of course, has changed from the previous version because they keep changing and they keep making additions. So once we have the Madrid instance, simply click on Manage Instance, and this will spin up the actual instance and give you the dev name. In my instance is dev 68004. It's online and gives you the URL and tells you the build. Now, the good thing about ServiceNow or the newer changes is that they only give you this for 10 days, right? So if you don't use it on a regular basis, they're going to reclaim it. In other words, they'll just take it back. So you have 10 days, and if you don't, use it every single day, they're going to take this back. Perfect. And there's a couple of options such as refresh status. The action entails activate plugins, release instance, remove demo data, and so on. So we'll come back to this a little bit later on in the course, but right now just worry about the URL. Perfect. So once you have the URL, all you need to do is just simply click on this particular newly created URL, and this will navigate you to the ServiceNow dashboard or the service management dashboard, where you can enter the username and then password one more time. So it's important to note that this username and password that allows you to log in to the service management dashboard is different from your credentials, your developer credentials. So keep this in mind. And this username and password again is different than the developer credentials. So you need to enter the username assigned so that you can log into the ServiceNow platform. Now, if you do not know or you've forgotten, of course, you can always bring this up by clicking on Forget Password, and this will take you to the username screen, and then you can verify and then reset and so forth. So you can go through this process if you do not have this at this point. Great. So once I enter the username and password, once I click Login, it's going to take me to the tab. It's going to allow me to log into the service management dashboard. Awesome. So it's really this simple. Just need to make sure that your service credentials for the developer platform is different than your credentials for the ServiceNow service management platform, and that's important. So once you're on the dashboard, of course, you have the system administration. You have all these tools that you can work with. On the left, you have the navigation pane that you can take a look at. The UI looks a little different than the previous version. So if you're using the Helsinki version, which throughout this course, by the way, if you see a different screen, but the actual navigation or the tools are pretty much all the same. So whatever we go through this course, you'll find it within the Madrid. And there are some changes in Madrid too that I'm going to highlight as I go along. But in this lesson, just wanted to demonstrate how you can easily go ahead and create the newest version Madrid instance, spin it up, and then of course log into the dashboard. So I hope this helps. Practice with this. If you have any questions throughout this process, just post in the discussion area. I'll be happy to help. And with this, let's move to the next lesson.